Hello everyone, I'm Rayaan, and today I will be analyzing the TED Talk, The Moral Bias Behind Your Search Results by Andreas Ekstrom, and more as the myth behind your unbiased search results. So, Ekstrom, he first starts out his presentation with asking the question, why do you Google? He gives three common answers. One, because it works, which is pretty simple, straightforward. Two, they don't really know any alternatives, which is kind of ridiculous if you think about it, as you can literally Google search result in Google. And the third one, which kind of gets a little iffy with, is they're certain to always get the best unbiased search result. And he really likes stressing the fact at why this is not so. And he uses image search manipulation as an example. And basically what it is that Google Images uses a certain algorithm to where if you were to Google something like, for example, Michelle Obama, you will get photos of Michelle Obama because, one, the file name, for example, will be michelleobama.jpg, or two, they'll be in a certain article that will talk about Michelle Obama. In 2009, Michelle Obama was actually the victim of a very racist campaign against her in which people photoshopped her face to look like a monkey. And what they did is they took that image, named it michelleobama.jpg, and posted it everywhere, and sure enough, it got to the top of the search results when you Googled it. So what Google did, in this case, is they manually went in, wrote some code, and cleaned it all up. And eventually, when you Google Michelle Obama's face, you would actually see Michelle Obama. Same thing happened with a man named Anders Behring Breivik. Now, if you don't know who this man is, he is a Norwegian far right-wing terrorist neo-Nazi who killed 77 people in Norway and injured 319 others on July 22nd, 2011. And people didn't like this. What he did afterwards is he went home and waited for his name to be Googled. And sure enough, he was, and his face is at the top of the search results. So what people did is that they announced that, hey, I don't like this person. Let's find photos of dog poop on your sidewalk and post them under the name Breivik.jpg. And sure enough, it worked. And the following weeks after the terrorist attacks, if you Google Anders Behring Breivik, you will see pictures of dog poop on sidewalks. But here's the thing. Google decided to not intervene this time. And this leads to my golden question, were these two situations really any different? Which we will come back to that. So back to the credibility of the TED Talk speaker. This is Andreas Ekstrom. He is a staff writer at Sydveskan, it's a morning paper thing in Sweden. His passion involves educating for digital equality, and so basically everyone has access to the internet, therefore has access to knowledge. He always leads seminars on digital revolution, and is very specialized in technological science. So given his current background, I would say he's clearly obliged to talk about this topic. The two lenses I decided to choose for this were political and historical lenses. One thing that we must think about is how search engines control our media. Do they decide to show advertisements supporting one political party and not the other? And what kind of statistics and facts do you think will come up when you search something? And do they follow a certain political agenda? What you must realize here is that this is nearly a superpower that any search engine can have, as they can manipulate any type of information that can come up. Through a historical lens, they can also change our perception of history by altering what we see when we search. So they may not change something, they may not change the fact that 2 bombs hit Japan in Nagasaki in 1945 from Hiroshima, but they can change small little details in everything that we know of and ultimately could change history. Not saying that they would do it, but that they can do it. So earlier I asked you all the golden question, were these two situations between Michelle Obama and Anders Behring Breivik really different? Ekstrom really decides to answer this question firmly.
So the million-dollar question, is there anything different between these two happenings here? Is there anything different between what happened to Michelle Obama and what happened to Anders Behring Breivik? Of course not. It's the exact same thing.
And when he explains that, he's talking about how he states how Google had the option to manually go in and clean out those search results for the people. But Google decided who they liked and who they didn't like. Obviously, in this specific situation, it can be argued differently, as Ekstrom later does explain how Michelle Obama is a respectable person and how Anders Behring Breivik is a despicable person. Ultimately, this is about search engines and something powerful that they all have. Search result manipulation, the ability to change any information that you can see.